Let's head to Turkiye now. Fighters with Kurdish separatist militant group Kurdistan Workers Party, or the PKK, have begun laying down their weapons against Turkiye in a symbolic ceremony in northern Iraq, marking the first concrete step towards a promised disarmament as part of a peace process in decades-long insurgency. The ceremony took place in the mountains outside the city of Suleymaniye in northern Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region. Footage from the event showed fighters, both men and women, casting rifles and machine guns into a large cauldron where they were then set ablaze. Helicopters were seen flying over the area as proceedings were getting underway. The state-run Iraqi news agency reported that the process will take place in stages and is expected to be completed by September this year, with a group of party members initially laying down their weapons symbolically. However, it was not clear how many fighters took part in Friday's ceremony. Prior to the gun destruction ceremony, the PKK said that the ceremony was a historic democratic move that it hoped would bring peace and freedom. The statement was read out in a cave in Iraqi Kurdistan. The PKK announced in May that it would disband and renounce armed conflict, ending 4 decades of hostilities. The development came after PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan urged his group in February to convene a congress and formally disband and disarm. After the laying down of arms, the Kurdish militants signaled their return to mainstream politics. In a detailed interview to AFP, PKK's top female commander, Bessie Hozat, said that if Turkiye was willing, the disarmament process could be completed very quickly. She added that Turkiye must push through legal reforms to allow PKK militants to return home without fear of being jailed or killed.
The Turkish state needs to grant us the right to democratic politics. We need to have the right to organize freely in Turkey and northern Kurdistan. In other words, we must be able to freely engage in democratic politics and organize a democratic society in northern Kurdistan and Turkey.
Hozat also demanded that Turkiye must release jailed PKK founder Abdullah Öcalan, who, to ensure the success of the peace process, Öcalan has been serving a life sentence in solitary confinement in the prison island near Istanbul since 1999, and his release has been a constant demand of the PKK.
However, for this to become practical, it is essential to ensure the physical freedom of Leader Apo, for Leader Apo to lead the entire process, to make constitutional arrangements, to implement legal changes, and to carry out serious legal regulations and reforms. On this basis, the decision was made to entirely abandon armed struggle and to continue the struggle for freedom and democracy on the grounds of democratic politics and law.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, in a post on X, has called the move an important step towards our goal of a terrorism-free Turkiye. Devlet Bahçeli, Erdogan's nationalist ally, who has traditionally maintained a hardline stance against the PKK, had surprised everyone in October, suggesting that Öcalan could be granted parole if he renounced violence. The PKK has long maintained bases in the mountains of northern Iraq, while Turkish forces have repeatedly launched offensives and airstrikes against the group. The Iraqi government in Baghdad last year announced an official ban on the separatist group, which has long been prohibited in Turkey.